Hello, my name's Laura McKenna, and I had the honour of judging the letter writing competition as part of the Edgeworth Literary Festival. And I'd like to thank the organisers for asking me to do this, because it was a lovely thing to do, lovely to read the different responses to the sample letters from the Edgeworth archive. The students really came up with some very ingenious ideas and really enjoyed them. And the organisers have also kindly invited me to do a reading from my book. And this is the book, Words to Shape My Name, which came out this year with New Island Books. And I'm delighted to be able to read an excerpt, and it's a short excerpt, but I probably should say a few words about the book first. It's based on the real life of two people in particular, two real people. The first is Lord Edward Fitzgerald, who is quite a relatively well-known figure from the past. He's been a much romanticized figure in history. And the other person, who in fact is the main character in my book, is that of his manservant, whose name was Anthony, or Tony Small. And this Tony Small was an escaped slave, and he saved Lord Edward's life when he was just a young lieutenant in the British Army in South Carolina during the American Revolutionary War. And after that, the two men were together. Tony Small worked as his manservant, but he was more than that. He was both traveling companion and really friend to Edward Fitzgerald for 17 years. So theirs was a very interesting relationship, and one that really fascinated me. So the book is mostly told through Tony Small's point of view, taking them right up across three continents, across revolutions, up until the 1798 rebellion in Ireland. And there are other voices in the book, and one of them is Tony Small's daughter, Harriet. And that's the section I'm going to read now, where Harriet is speaking about her father's, some of her father's papers that she's read. So Lady Lucy didn't know everything, didn't remember everything. She got it wrong about that Indian tribe what gave Lord Edward his great honour, making him a chief. I remember the name because Baba told me. It were the Bear tribe, and he told me that story the day I came home from the market, filled with fear and terror on account of a dancing bear. He were trying to make me feel better, but it never worked, for that bear is still roaring somewhere in my memory, still giving off its stink, its misery. It were at a market near Piccadilly, and Ma and I were making our way through the stalls when I saw the bear. He were roped about the neck and muzzle. I stopped to gawp. A dancing bear, I'd say he were, but perhaps he didn't have a fancy for the horn players' music or the crowd that day, for he would not dance. Stayed on all fours, no matter how the rope man shouted and prodded him. The crowd became jaded by his tired shuffling, and they too set about provoking, jeering, jabbing him with sticks. I heard Ma's voice calling to me just as he reared up, but I could no more have moved than I could have stuck him with a knife. Terrifying he were, all matted fur and huge leathered paws with long, long curved claws. The crowd seemed to drop back from me. I heard Ma again shouting, "Etty, run!" and the bear man cursing as he grappled with the rope. I were standing right in the dark shadow of the beast. Couldn't help but stare up at him, at his jaw working against the rope in a froth of spittle. I could smell the suffering pelt of him, feel his muffled roar judder along my bones, the blast of his raging breath. Then it was over, the trance broken by Ma, hugging and half slapping me, berating me, and then comforting me with her Irish words. "Why don't you listen to me, a Vurni, a store?" And the bear were backing away, the rope man beating him with a stumpy whip. The crowd spread away like spilt milk draining into cracks and gaps. They were over. Some memories never leave you. Seems they're carved into your body. That bear, that smell, that look. Saw it years later in my own son when I got my last last glimpse of him, got close enough to touch him, though he pulled away as he tramped up the gangplank of the Augusta Jessie. He turned round, though, when he reached the top, and the look in his eyes set my bones shuddering, just as that bear did. Thank you very much. And thank you again to the organisers of the festival.